How many times has humanity done this before, and why is it this time we will make it through and out of that heavier density?
There's more light on your planet than ever before. There's more consciousness on your planet than ever before. You are ready to live in a fully realized state of pure love, where you experience well-being and abundance and freedom and joy and beauty.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever been wondering, like the rest of us, if humanity's falling apart along with Mother Earth, then do we have the show for you. Today we'll be talking with Sara Landon, transformational leader, teacher, channel of the council, and the author of a beautiful book, The Wisdom of the Council. And that's just what I want to talk with her about today. Where we come from, what's going on with the world, and will we make it through these challenging times? So welcome back to the show, Sara. Are you ready to shine?
Hello, Michael. I'm so happy to be here with you and your amazing Inspire Nation community, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation today.
Woohoo! I believe Rue is watching from up above. I wasn't planning on starting this way, but he transitioned 10 minutes before we were originally supposed to do this interview about a month ago. So it's been a special and sacred time. And I want to thank you on air for your patience, for hanging in there, and for being a nice anchor during these times where I see wings behind you when Rue flapped his wings one more time.
Yes. Well, Rue always has had a special place in my heart from our very first interview when I got the opportunity to meet him. And he gave us a woo-hoo definitely in that interview. So he has been in my heart. I have felt his presence many times. I had a similar experience last year, almost this exact same time, August 10th of last year, right before I was getting on one of my community calls. My beloved dog transitioned in the moments before the call was about to start. And I truly believe they choose their timing, as we know, and something about their transitions in this way just makes it even more meaningful and maybe helps bring some awareness to someone else who's looking for some comfort or some reassurance that their beloved companion, whether that's a human or an animal, is always with them as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So on a completely different note, and I can't believe I'm going to pull on the lever to the railroad track like this, but we're going to go for it. Sara, will humanity tear itself apart?
Oh, I truly think that is about the farthest from where we're going and what is coming for us. I truly see every single day more love on this planet, more light on this planet than ever before. The council has been saying for many years that we will live in a fully awakened world. And to me, that is about living in a state of pure love and joy, abundance, well-being, harmony. But we first need to create that within ourselves. I believe all the things that we're seeing on the planet at this time are an opportunity for every single one of us who are inspired and empowered to live consciously, to bring the light, to be the love that you are. These are opportunities for us to step up and to really shine, as you say. We are all a channel. We are all a vessel. We are all a conduit of greater love, greater peace, greater harmony. And we have to do our own inner alignment to that peace and harmony first. So it's not about not taking action in the world about things that you are passionate about. It absolutely is. But it's about coming into that place of a higher level of consciousness within yourself first, and then bringing your light to those places that are most important for you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to go to the council a little bit, and I have many questions today. Before we do that, how did you first start hearing from the council?
So my very first experience with non-physical was when my brother passed away in a car accident. It's really the first time that I was aware that I had had an experience of someone who had made their transition. And I was at his viewing. He died suddenly in a car crash. I had never been around a dead body before. And it was November in Alaska at the time. It was a very cold day. It was a very heavy and emotional room. My brother's body was on the left side, and I came in and I sat down with my family. And I remember distinctly the heaviness I felt, the cold, the physical cold feeling that I felt. I sat there for a few minutes, and all of a sudden, this energy that I can only explain as liquid love just started at the top of my head, went through my entire body. I was warm, and I was completely and totally in peace. My brother said, "I'm still here. I'm just not in there." And this was over my right shoulder. And the reference was definitely to his body, which was on the left side of the room. And I said, "Well, where are you?" And he said, "I'm just as here as I ever was. I just left the density of the body, and I'm at a rate of vibration that you can't interpret with your physical senses." These were not terms or words that I was familiar with at that point in my life. It seemed very odd. It was very deliberate, the words he used, so I remembered them. So that continued on for, a couple of more questions and answers, and then he receded. And I was back in the room. I was definitely aware that it was cold, but I was in peace. And that peace has never left me. That was my first experience. And I believe it was my love for my brother and desire to reconnect with that energy that allowed me to keep my vessel open to communicating with the other side. If it would have been anything else, I might have just thought I made it up, thought I, was going crazy. Who knows? I might have just disregarded it. But that love for my brother, I just continued to seek that connection again. So he would come spontaneously, and that happened for many years. Then I started doing automatic writing in the middle of the night, and you are the automatic writing expert. I have read your book, and we have done an interview on my YouTube channel where you talked about your book. At the time, I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was waking up in the middle of the night, and I was writing. And the next day I would read what I had written, and it was the answers to the profound questions that I had been seeking to find truth in for as long as I could remember. My questions were always about, how do we live our highest potential? What is our purpose? Why am I here? What is my purpose? How do I live it? Where do we come from? Where are we going? What's the purpose of all of this? But this real underlining drive to want to understand what is possible for us, what really is our highest potential. And so much to my surprise, those answers started coming through me. Fast forward a couple more years, and I was doing a QHHT session, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique developed by Dolores Cannon with a practitioner that I'd met in this very divinely orchestrated way. And she said, "Do I have permission to talk to Sarah's higher self?" And I'm answering. I'm very aware of where I'm at and what I'm doing. And I said yes. And the questions went on. And after some time, I felt this energy come through. And it was very intense. It was a very high vibration. And it was a love that I had never experienced in physical form before. My voice changed. The cadence of my voice changed. The answers started to include the words we and us. And the council went on to answer her questions for about 45 minutes about all sorts of subjects. And I was aware. I had no idea what was going on. I could not argue with the love that I felt, so I kept very open to what was coming through, but I had no idea what was happening. And afterwards, she said, "I think you just channeled a council of beings. I think you just channeled a collective." And so I listened to it after. It was very difficult to listen to, as my voice was so different than how I normally speak. But the wisdom, the answers were absolutely profound and life-changing. And I just started doing what they said and implementing and integrating what they were saying into my life. So we continued to do these sessions every week for several months, almost a year. And at that point, I was very comfortable with channeling. I was able to get in and out of channel on my own. She was a huge part of it because her questions really allowed the wisdom to go deeper, allowed it to expand, allowed us to have longer conversations. So I know all of that was acclimating me to be able to hold the energy. I never expected that I would be sitting someday on a video call channeling with you and for you answers to your questions that were then going to go on YouTube. I couldn't have imagined what this would ever turn into. But the wisdom that they brought through changed my life in the most incredible ways that I couldn't not share this information with the world. And I had to get over my biggest fears of my own in order to really bring the council's wisdom to the world. So it's been quite a journey, and I can't imagine doing anything else. It's just the most rewarding, blissful, amazing opportunity to be a channel for their wisdom.
Very, very cool. So I guess when we do an extended channeling here, it's not going to tire you out so much as it is bathe you in that warmth and that love.
Yeah, it's a very uplifting experience for me. At one point in my life, I was channeling about 6 or 8 hours a day for well over a year when I was doing private sessions with people. I don't do private sessions anymore. We do a lot of group things, and I was really guided that this needed to reach more people. So we started doing groups and courses and those types of things. But I find that the vibration, the frequency, the love that they bring through is so uplifting. Even if I think, oh, I don't know if I feel that great or up to it today, the second I take a deep breath and feel their presence, it's just so expansive.
Rather than ask you the next series of questions, we'll go to the council. However, the big question that I have before we do that is, do you always listen to what they suggest? I really believe I do. I really do. They have never brought through any information that I did not feel a deep resonance with as truth. There are things that have been difficult. You're an animal lover. I'm an animal lover. I have a very dear friend who is part of my community that is an advocate for one of the largest animal welfare organizations in the Southern Hemisphere. And during a session with her, she asked some very specific questions to the council about humane treatment of animals, describing some of the things that she had seen. And I experienced the whole thing from a much higher perspective, a much higher level of consciousness, a very loving, unwavering understanding that the cruelty and the harm and the things that she had witnessed were a result of levels of consciousness that were so far from the truth of who those people were who were committing those acts of harm, and that the truth of who they was really love. And from a much higher perspective, I experienced the council's conversation with her. When I came out of that session, I think I sobbed for hours as I wasn't aware of some of those things that were happening in the world. However, even in my emotional response to it, I could feel the absolute truth of what they had brought through and the level of consciousness that they were in, that we were all in when those answers were coming through. So I agree with it. I seek to be the ultimate student of the wisdom that they teach, because my life is wonderful when I do. Life is harmonious, beautiful, abundant, joyful. You exist in a state of well-being and beauty when you live this. So why wouldn't I seek to implement everything that they teach in my own life? Thank you. And since and we'll probably talk about Maui at some point here with the council.
Yeah.
Over the last week, we've done our shows as fundraisers for Maui Humane Society for the animals left behind there. And we've raised, last count was over 11, probably at least $12,000 so far.
That's fantastic.
And we want to bring in more to help the animals. This is so important to me. How did, I really want to get in with the council, but you and I are animal lovers, and that's probably a vast understatement. How did it shift or change your life after hearing those answers?
I had a level of compassion.
I'm sorry, my jaw is open because Meowser's just stepped on an animal baby's book and a giraffe said, beautiful.
Meant to be. Perfect timing. Yes. Here's what surprised me. Any judgment I had for what people do who work in those slaughterhouses or environments or own them, or the judgment was replaced by compassion and understanding. And that changed me.
And I think that's really, at the end of the day, people look at politics. They look at this person's a red or a blue or a polka dot or on this side or that side. There ain't no sides.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true. And animals, as you and I both know, are such profound masters, teachers, who also come to this planet with a great love for humanity and to be part of this awakening experience here. I've never seen your cat. Oh, I have a black cat that looks just like that, named Bear.
Wow. Hi, Bear. This is Sir Meowsers. And Sir Meowsers has been 15 years old for as long as we know. and he
love that.
He has gone through the Maui Humane Society. He is and was and always will be a Maui kitty. And so apparently he's come to join us and hold space here today for us.
Thank you. I love that. I am so in love with black cats. I had never had a black cat before, and I got a black and white and a black kitten last year, and they are just amazing. All cats, dogs, animals, chickens, roosters. Yeah. All of them.
We have two black cats.
My 19-year-old. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. You first.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, my 19-year-old companion cat, Taz, actually transitioned last Wednesday.
Oh, no.
And, he's just such a master. But I feel him everywhere. They are just incredible. So, yes, we could just call this Animal Love Fest.
I love it. So, because we've got Sir Meowsers and then Rescued, who we found him basically during a meditation. Well, Meowsers, literally, I was sitting in meditation on the grass in Maui, and he came and sat in my lap, started purring. I pet him. He bit me. It was love at first bite. and then Lumi, who is over on what was Rue's perch and the last place that he rested here on Earth, so to speak. He is a black kitty as well, from a meditation center in Maui, also through the Humane Society. And then our other one is gray.
Oh, so, I love that. Animals are so special. Let's
go from there. Let's go to the council, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really want to get an idea. I want to dive deep today. We're going to go on a deep dive, and I believe this will be profound for all of us. And the timing is, for animals, for the earth, for everything going on, particularly important.
Yeah, I love it. All right. I'm just going to close my eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. My eyes are usually closed when I channel. It just helps me focus. They bring in a lot of information very quickly, helps me to go deeper and to really keep up with them. You'll notice that the voice, the cadence of my voice changes just a little bit. And, to me, it's a really natural experience. I know that everybody has the ability to channel. And I just encourage people, if you're drawn to channeling, you yourself are also a channel. It may express differently through you than it does me or Michael. but to just know that you are in that state of activating your own connection to source as you are in the energy of the channeling. So just let it activate you in whatever way is in the highest good. So here we go. We are so pleased and delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you, our dear, beloved friend, and all of our friends in this special time together today. We remind you that while our words to you are important, this is a vibrational experience of remembering the truth of who you really are, why you are here, and all that you intended when you chose this magnificent life experience, because we assure you it is meant to be so very good for you. Before we go to your questions, we'll tell you, you are living in the greatest time that has ever been, the time of the great awakening of humanity, the greatest transformation of human consciousness that has ever occurred. It is being accelerated at a rapid pace, which is why you may observe change and transformation happening all around you. We assure you that this truly is the most exciting, the most powerful time. You came forth to be part of this great awakening of humanity that is occurring at this time. You came forth because of your great love for humanity, your great love for the animals, your great love for this planet, and all the potentials and the possibilities that exist within this experience. It is a grand adventure. Live fully, love fully, be all that you are, and you will truly see a beautiful world reflected back to you in all that you do. So, where would you like to begin?
I'd like to begin, Council. Thank you so much. At the beginning, how old is the Council and where did the Council come from?
Well, we are just as you. We are in non-physical or focused in a dimension of consciousness beyond physical form, but we began when you began. We began when all things began. We are energy and consciousness just like you. From our perspective, there is no linear time like what you experience as days and weeks and months and years. It's all happening now. And while we can observe and be in the realization of the expansion that is occurring, we also know that the only thing that exists is this now. And the more you focus in the now, the more you realize there is no beginning, there is no end. There is experience. There is expansion. And there is expression in this now. To even quantify would be difficult for a human brain to even comprehend. What you might call billions of years, that the energy and the consciousness that is you and that is us has existed. Does that make sense to you?
It does. Has the Council been in physical form before? Because I'm curious, if so, how the Council made it through the Council's own awakening, or the awakening that may have taken place on other civilizations.
So you are source. We are source. We can focus ourselves into the oneness that is source, God, the divine, all that is. We can focus ourselves into the isness of all that is, and we can focus ourselves into a unique expression, just like you and the unique expression that is you, Michael. You are also so much more, and you also have experiences of being in that oneness or isness with all that is, and being able to be the unique expression that you are as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as all the other roles that you are here experiencing and creating. We have been in physical form. We refer to our own collective experience as a council of ascended master beings, meaning we have been in physical form. As you are on a journey from awakening to realization, and this is important, you are aware that you are more than this physical body. You are awakened beyond what you call the illusions. Now this journey is about realization, the integration of every part of you. You might call that enlightenment. We refer to it as realization. When you come into the realization of all that you are whole, the past is healed, you understand the sacred nature of all that you are, and you begin to live in what we refer to as the fifth dimension of pure love, where your well-being and your abundance is assured. And all we ask of you as you come into realization is to stay on the planet at this time. And as we said, live fully, love fully, be all that you are, and create your reality the way you desire it to be. In past times, due to the density on your planet, most who reached a state of realization or enlightenment almost immediately left the physical body. There's so much light on your planet. The vibration and the frequency of even the human collective consciousness is so elevated at this time. But that is because of all of you who have awakened, who are moving into realization. We stay focused, even though we are in higher dimensions of consciousness, not limited to physical form. We, because of our great love for you, because you are us and we are you, we continue to focus upon offering you a grander perspective of what is possible in the human experience as the realized master that you are. We know your human mind does not fully grasp what we are saying. You are us. We are you. You channeled this to you. Every single one of you, no matter when you hear this, you have drawn this to you to remember who you are. You are simply reminding yourself of your own wisdom that has always been and will always be available to you. Do you understand?
Going to present day, and then I want to understand if other civilizations have gone through the same experience. Are we experiencing the perception of heaviness, of strife, of war, of famine, of fire, of feeling like we're being torn apart? Is this a necessary part of the awakening journey for humanity?
It's not necessary, but many of you choose it. You forget that you are free. You deny love for yourself, and you argue endlessly for your unworthiness and limitations, which is what causes the struggle and the suffering. We'll make it very easy to understand what we're saying by giving you some perspective of the different levels of consciousness that exist within the human experience. Most operate and have operated for lifetimes in what we refer to as the third dimension of separation. It is an experience where you slow your rate of vibration and your frequency by lowering your consciousness, believing that you are separate from source, from each other, from what it is that you want or need. In that dimension of consciousness, there is lack, there is limitation, there is fear, there is separation. You have to push and force and struggle and effort. And can you create? Can you manifest? Can you build? Indeed. But it is very difficult to try to push and force energy in lower dimensions of consciousness when you're holding yourself in separation. Then someone begins to awaken. They ask the questions, who am I? Why am I here? You start to realize that you can change your circumstances and conditions. You are not your circumstances and conditions. You can change them. You can transform them. You can heal. You can process. You can release. You can fix. Most get stuck in the fourth dimension of transformation for years and decades because you are still in judgment about situations, circumstances, others, but most importantly, yourself. We agree the fourth dimension is a higher level of consciousness, is a higher vibration than holding yourself in lack and limitation. The pathway or the doorway out of the fourth dimension into the fifth dimension, which is what you are here to realize in physical form, is letting go of judgment. But when you believe you are unworthy, when you deny love for yourself, when you argue for your limitations, when you are constantly trying to fix and heal because you're not enough yet, you will continually stay entangled in the fourth dimension of transformation, always trying to fix, always trying to help, always trying to heal, always trying to save. When you come to the awareness that you can let go of the judgment, and this will answer many of your questions, and know that everything is happening for you to bring you even more deeply into a state of pure love, to bring you even more deeply into your power and your freedom, to bring you into a greater sense of clarity, so that you can create your reality the way you want it to be. You can look at any and all situations from a grander perspective. And from there, you step into the fifth dimension of pure love. Your well-being, your abundance is assured. What you want, what you need, show up even before you know you need it. You get more of what you are. You live in alignment to your soul's desires, which were inspired within you for the very purpose of expansion. You are here to realize yourself and your experience as pure love in what we refer to as the fifth dimension. We'll say two other things we think will be very helpful here. Number one, you must understand the formula for creation. Consciousness summons energy into form. Your level of consciousness determines the dimension you exist within because it is related to the level of energy you are summoning. So when someone says to us, how would that even work? My well-being and my abundance is assured. I do what brings me joy. I follow the energy. I let the light guide the way. I focus on what I love, and I live abundantly in a state of well-being. And we say, precisely, it can be no other way. And they say, well, that doesn't make any sense because I've had to work hard for everything. I've had to work hard. I've had to struggle. I've had to suffer. I've had to sacrifice. And we say, absolutely, you have. When you're in a level of consciousness where you are not summoning a whole lot of energy into form, you have to push and force and effort and struggle. That's not the way you intended to exist. But most become their beliefs in their own lack and limitation and hold themselves in struggle and suffering, even though you are inherently free. Inherently free to create your reality any way that you desire it to be. We refer to desire as something different than wanting and needing. It is about going beyond wanting and needing into absolute knowing and living from that place. You might take any situation that is current and relevant in your news today or whenever you listen to this. And you could say, oh, that's terrible, that's awful, that shouldn't happen. It will automatically lower your consciousness into separation and fear. You will limit significantly the amount of energy you're summoning in the moment, and your reality will look bleak. You will experience suffering and struggle. And yet in the very same moment, if you can elevate yourself to a grander perspective and the truth of all things, you might not fully understand the gift, the opportunity, the potential, the possibility that exists, but you can elevate yourself into a grander perspective where you know that this is bringing a rebalancing, an up-leveling, an upgrade. And if you looked back at any of these situations, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you'd be able to see endless gifts that have come from this horrible tragedy that you once judged it to be. Do you understand?
Thank you so much. I want to go, it's not so much that I want to go back in time, but it is to me a very special and sacred time for humanity. I do wonder, however, how many times has humanity done this before, gotten to this point? And why is it this time we will make it through and out of that heavier density?
Well, there's more light on your planet than ever before. There's more consciousness on your planet than ever before. Understand something, and we really want to emphasize this. When we talk about dimensions of consciousness, and when we talk about you living as a realized master, when we talk about ascension into higher levels of consciousness, where there's greater potential and possibility, we are not inferring a hierarchy. There is no hierarchy. You are all source, God, divine. You are all sacred, whole, complete. Even if you are holding yourself in an experience of separation, this is not hierarchical. It's a ready for. You are ready to live in a fully realized state of pure love, where you experience well-being and abundance and freedom and joy and beauty. You're ready for it. You have come to a place of loving yourself on a level where you know that it's your divine inherent birthright to live in a state of pure love. So it is possible for all beings. It's always been possible. It was much more difficult when there was more density and less light, when humanity was in even lower levels of consciousness. But still, there were those who came forth into this experience and reached realization or enlightenment. It's always been possible. It's just that the vibration and the frequency and the consciousness now has surpassed the tipping point. It's inevitable. There are far too many of you living in these higher rates of vibration and frequency, summoning energy and light on the planet. It's inevitable that all of humanity will awaken.
Thank you. Is the appearance of greater darkness and discord, disagreement between peoples, the tribalism that is appearing right now, is that something that is created, let's say, by the egoic mind of all of humanity? Or is there some interest that is trying to keep us from a great awakening? What's going on?
We would say most do not believe they are worthy of living in a state of freedom and joy and love and harmony with themselves, let alone others. It can be no other way in the third dimension. In the third dimension, there is good and bad, right and wrong, left and right. There is what many of you refer to as duality, because there is separation. When you experience yourself as limitation, when you are holding yourself in lack, there will be fear, there will be competition, there will be struggle, there will be disagreement. The moment one takes a breath, comes into their power in this moment, is present, and is aligned to their heart, the disagreement ends. You don't have to all agree. In fact, you're all going to choose without any need to control the other, because you know what the other chooses cannot keep you from the reality that you desire to create. There are many living on this planet that do not experience the struggle, the fighting, the opposition, because they're not focused upon it. They live in such a level of conscious awareness and summon such levels of energy that their relationships are harmonious, joyful, that their lives truly are a magical and miraculous experience every day. It is what you focus upon. You cannot be arguing or warring with something outside of you without all of that energy moving through you first. You often ask us how to eradicate things like cancer on your planet. What is it? It is when your body and the cells in your body begin to war against your healthy cells. This is a reflection of what goes on energetically. You cannot be in the past, in your head, warring with an X that isn't even in your experience now, without all of that energy moving through you. Your body doesn't know you're trying to project it out there. Your body is experiencing that warring within itself. You cannot be fighting against someone who is in a different political party than you, fighting and arguing and warring without all of that energy moving through you first. That's really what's going on here. If you want to live in a peaceful, joyful, harmonious, abundant, beautiful world, you must first create it within yourself. When you have created it and realized it within yourself, you will simply have no interest in focusing upon the lack and limitation of others, or what they are creating through separation in their own experience, because you know that they too have the same power as you. They too have a higher self that is guiding them. They too have an opportunity to awaken and come into realization when it is their choosing. You will cause your own suffering when you think you know what another soul's journey should be. You have had your own journey to awakening and realization. It is true mastery and wisdom to allow others to do the same.
Thank you. What would be the first step we get to take in healing our hearts, or coming into coherence or alignment with our hearts, or living more from our hearts, so that we can create from within, so without?
Acceptance. Accept what is. Don't fight against it. Don't blame anyone for it. Accept what is. Come into a grander perspective. There's more going on here than your limited human can perceive. We're not saying that you don't come into a higher level of consciousness and have incredible compassion, allow yourself to be guided, take action from that higher level of consciousness. But acceptance is the most important first step, because the instant manifestation of acceptance is peace. And we would say, in any example you give us, what you ultimately want for others, especially those that are suffering, is peace. You must first create it within yourself. Accept what is, without judgment, without blame, without condemnation. Accept what is and come back into your power. Your power is your presence, is your peace. Accept what is, and you will feel peace. From a state of peace, you can begin to come into higher levels of consciousness, into a grander perspective. In that moment, you shift into a higher level of consciousness, all of a sudden you're opening the floodgates and summoning a whole lot more energy, which has to move into form in your experience. That's the first step.
Thank you. Looking at the evolution of other civilizations outside of humanity, because I see us as energy having an energetic experience in human form, but it could be in XYZ forms as well. Why is it that humanity specifically has been such a place, and maybe compared to other civilizations, in such a place of judgment or disempowerment or not loving oneself as compared maybe to others?
Well, we'll tell you that humanity and humans are of the most compassionate, loving beings in all of the universe. Love, like you experience love, doesn't exist the way it does in the human experience. Compassion, the level by which you have compassion, is unique to the human experience. When someone is in a state of oneness, realization, fully present in the moment, and you are feeling that deep connection to everything, you might describe it as pure bliss, pure love, pure joy. But it truly is a feeling of connection, receiving complete and total communication from consciousness and energy, that you are in absolute wholeness within yourself. That's what we would refer to as the state of an enlightened being. Now, from that state, you seek to do no harm. You focus on things that you love in the human experience. You have compassion. You care. But we have a very different perspective. We think what is going on Earth and in the human collective or the human experience is the greatest thing going on anywhere. You are literally ascending into higher dimensions of consciousness while also in physical form. It's an incredible opportunity. So, the other part of your question is, because of the level of density to move into physical form, and we could talk about this, but we'll make it very simple. When you move into physical form, into a level of density to be in form, you slow your rate of vibration so that you can perceive through physical senses. It's heavy. Not all beings experience form the way you do. And that's an incredible, amazing opportunity, which is why you chose to focus yourself into physical form, so you could taste delicious food, so you could wrap your arms around the people that you love, so you could look them in the eye, so that you could feel their touch, so that you could hear beautiful music, so that you could see the beautiful flowers. You came to satiate all of the physical senses as part of being in form. Now, you also have free will, which is the basis of this experience. You are God, you are Source, you are the divine, expressing uniquely as the you know as you, flowing consciousness and energy through your experience, but also being in form such that you can see and taste and touch and hear and smell and think, and you can think thoughts and believe thoughts that are directly opposed to the very truth of your divine nature, if it is your choosing, which is why the human experience is so difficult for some. Because you have the free will to think any thought you choose. As you come into higher levels of consciousness, there is absolute knowing. And as one moves into higher levels of consciousness, they no longer deny love for themselves. They no longer deny their worth. They no longer deny the love of another, that the other is love or the other's worth through judgment and criticism. And therefore, they don't experience the struggle anymore. Does this all make sense to you?
Yes, thank you. Does, outside of the experience of acceptance, or outside of the experience of awakening, does the human world matter? And as we're awakening and coming into alignment at a higher level and coming into this greater awareness, acceptance, and power, you had mentioned earlier that we should not check out. As we're becoming more, we'll use that term, enlightened, what do we get to do here? Or does it matter that we do certain things here?
It matters. It matters because you are seeding human consciousness with potentials and possibilities. You are leaving a legacy in the consciousness of humanity about what is possible when one does awaken and come into realization. And whatever it means to you to create your masterpiece, to live the life of your dreams, to create your reality, to whatever it means to you to live fully. It doesn't mean the same to all of you. Some we say live fully and they say, I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to go to every sacred place on this planet. I don't want to own a house. I don't want to have a big sense of responsibility. I want to go be free, and I want to travel, and I want to go to all the greatest places of the world. And that's what leaving a legacy or creating my reality or living fully means to this person. For others, they want to have a family. They want to have a home. They might want to have a farm. They might want to have animals and live in connection, in relationship, on a sacred piece of land that is meaningful, where they care and enjoy and laugh and experience and play and have fun with the playmate that they have chosen. Some think of abundance as living in a community where they don't have to own a house. They live in a community. They do what they love, like gardening, and they contribute their joyful experience of gardening to the community, while others who enjoy caring for the children or others who enjoy building structures do what they love. And the community comes together and shares. This person may be very abundant and have only a bedroom to themselves. They share a bathroom, they share a kitchen, they share leisure areas. And that might be abundant, or living at the highest levels of abundance for one person. That's a potential, that's a possibility. They are seeding into the collective human consciousness the potential to create that sort of communal living experience of abundance and joy and connection. Others might consider abundance to be a big home with lots of people. They might really enjoy exchanging energy with that person who is a landscaper or an architect or any sort of skill, where they flow their financial abundance in the form of large amounts of money in energetic exchange for services that they receive. That might be abundance for another person. Abundance might mean the highest levels of leisure, beautiful places all around the world to one person, where abundance and freedom to another might be gardening in a communal living situation, doing what brings them joy every day. All of these potentials and possibilities seed human consciousness with opportunity. Some will say, I don't really know what I want. I don't really know what I want to create. I don't even know what living fully means. Do you want to be broke, or do you want to be abundant? Most would answer abundant. Do you want to be sick, or do you want to experience well-being? Most would answer well-being. Do you want to be miserable, or do you want to be joyful? Most would say joyful. Do you want things that are displeasing to your eye, or do you want beauty? Do you want to live in resistance or harmony? You all want the same things. Do you want to be controlled by everything else outside of you, or do you want freedom? You want abundance. You want well-being. You want joy. You want beauty. You want harmony. You want peace. You want freedom. You want inspiration. You want creativity. You want to feel connection. You all want the same things. How you create and express what that means to you is the very reason you're here. So it does matter. Does that make sense to you?
Thank you. I want to go, we're talking about farms and communal property, or communal communities in a sense. Please help me understand there are many people here who are staggered or brought to our knees when thinking about things like Maui, and I would like to understand and know why that specifically happened. But when people are in such a state, is it as simple, which is not simple at all, as that acceptance and self-love? Or is it necessary to really step forward?
So the answer is not the same for everyone, except for the answer to everything you asked is and will always be consciousness. If you come into the highest level of consciousness in the moment, you will always be guided. The energy and the light will guide the way. You will be summoning energy into form, but you must elevate your consciousness in the moment. Sarah read an article about a person who lives on the island of Maui who went to the shelters and said, "What do you need?" And one man said to her, "I don't need anything. I have everything. I have my life." That's a perspective. That's a perspective. If you are looking, you will see consciousness. You will see love. You will see peace. You will see compassion. You will see rebalancing. If you are looking for devastation and suffering, you will find it anywhere. Someone could live in the most, what you would deem as perfect conditions and be miserable. There are some that when you think of the most beautiful place on earth, they're on a vacation at that place and they're still experiencing chaos and devastation and destruction and horror because of their level of consciousness. You can have one that is living in what most of you would say is horrific circumstances. And yet because of their consciousness, be in love, be in peace, be in oneness, be in gratitude. So the first step is always elevate your consciousness in the moment, come into your power, take 3 deep breaths, go from your head into your heart. It is so easy, but it is the absolute formula that will get you back into the moment, into your power to elevate your consciousness no matter what. Stop. Take 3 deep breaths. We say close your eyes because it's a wonderful reset. Stop, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, go from your head into your heart. Move your awareness from your head where all the chatter and all the noise and all the devastation, the destruction, and that's terrible, that's awful, this shouldn't happen, why did this happen? Stop. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. 3 is very specific and important. Go from your head down into your heart. You'll know you're in your heart because you'll feel a sense of peace. It's lighter. It's quieter. Continue to breathe. Is it possible? Is it possible that in some way this is happening for you to come into a deeper level of your own self-love, to come into a deeper level of your own realization, to come into a deeper level of your own power, so that you can get clear on what it is that you do want to create more of in your life. In a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you're going to be telling a story about Maui that is of love, connection, collaboration, cooperation, more beauty, more abundance, more than ever existed before. This is a rebalancing. You would almost all agree that whether you call it Gaia, Earth, Mother Earth, the planet, whatever you choose, it has consciousness. It has existed for millions of years, with or without humanity. The planet knows how to rebalance itself. These are opportunities that the mighty consciousness of Earth is gifting you to ask yourself what needs to be rebalanced within your own being. From there, and from that level of awareness and consciousness and balance and harmony and peace within yourself, aligned to a grander perspective, follow the energy and let light guide the way. Take conscious action from that place. Not from the poor me, this is terrible, awful victim, I must go save the world place. You are far more powerful when you are conscious than you will ever be in a state of reaction. You understand?
Thank you. Let's go to Gaia, to Mother Earth for a moment. Sara lives in Santa Barbara, which has had substantial fires there in the past. We have Maui. We have so many challenges with Earth as she appears from a human perspective to have a fever at the moment. What do we need to know about Mother Earth and our role here on the Earth?
Well, we would not agree that there's anything wrong with Earth. Earth is not ill. Earth is not sick. As much as you focus on things that you say shouldn't be happening, like forests, fires, and flooding and these sorts of things, you could find 1,000 times more places on Earth that are thriving in balance and in harmony. It is merely what you focus on. It is merely what you focus on. So, Earth has always known how to bring balance and rebalance the environment. You now have billions of people living all over this Earth, and sometimes humans have built homes in places that are going through a rebalancing. That's not the Earth lashing out at you. Now, that being said, those who are living in higher levels of consciousness will always be guided. Always be guided. That guidance is available to absolutely everyone. But someone who is living in fear and lack and limitation and separation and disconnected and reaction, tuned out, will not receive the guidance that's there and present in every moment. You could live in a place that is experiencing fires and mudslides and be completely guided out of harm's way in every moment. If you are on a level of consciousness that is summoning energy into form where you receive that guidance. Do you understand?
I do, but it leaves me with a challenged question that I can hear our audience saying. If we take Maui, for example, where 111 are known to have perished, 850 more as we record this have not been found. And one has to say, does that mean that those who perished all were living at a lower level of consciousness? And the challenged human question becomes, is that why they perished?
Well, first off, we will tell you absolutely no soul leaves this incarnation a moment sooner than is the choosing of the higher self. When the soul is complete in this incarnation, it leaves the physical body. whether that is passing away in your sleep, having a sudden heart attack, a lung disease, or a wildfire. We know it's very difficult when there is a highly dramatic way that one transitions out of the body. There are many questions. It is difficult to understand why anyone would choose that way to leave the body. And we know and agree that human being didn't choose to die and didn't choose to die that way. But there is more to all of you than what you know as just the human part of you. Your higher self, your soul, knows that the consciousness and the energy that is the truth of you moves into a higher formless dimension of consciousness in the moment you transition, that is pure bliss, pure love, pure joy. Every single one of those beings that transitioned in the Maui wildfires are living in, existing in absolute pure bliss, peace, joy, harmony. Their consciousness and their energy did not cease to exist. They left the density of the body and they're in a higher vibration and frequency, existing in a higher dimension of consciousness that is not limited to physical form. Whether that is because they are complete in the human experience, whether that is because they have been complete in this incarnation and they're ready to reincarnate into another incarnation, whether it is that the density of what they were experiencing got so much in this life that they couldn't get to the place they wanted to get to in this incarnation, such as realization, that they released the density of the body to move back into oneness with Source. We assure you, if you take one breath and think about the love you have for anyone that transitioned, they will be right there with you, their consciousness surrounding you, their love all around you, no matter where you are. They are not suffering. They are not in grief. But if you are holding yourself in the horrifying, grief-ridden, terrible, tragic belief in their ceasing to exist, you're as far from the truth of where they are as you could possibly be. Do you understand?
Thank you.
There were many, Sara included, who had specifically looked at going to Maui during the time that the wildfire occurred. She couldn't explain it because she loves Maui. This was several months ago. She looked at hotels, she looked at flights. She wanted very much in this month's time to go to that exact place. There was no energy. There was no light in it. She couldn't figure it out. She wasn't meant to be there. If you follow the energy and you follow the light, you may not understand. You might in time. You all, every single one of you, will transition. You transitioning doesn't mean you were in a lower dimension of consciousness. We're saying that as you live in a higher dimension of consciousness, you are guided. There is light. There is energy guiding you, supporting you, leading you, loving you. That is always available to all of you in every moment. Does that make sense to you?
Thank you so much. How do we go from acceptance, step one, acceptance, to what you call stepping back into our power?
Mm-hmm. So step two might be coming into, acceptance, accept what is, realize peace. The next step is to understand that there's more going on here. There's a grander perspective. Your soul is out ahead of you, orchestrating things on your behalf. Something is keeping the sun and the moon and the stars in perfect proximity to the earth. There's some intelligence that grew your physical body, that took a cell and made you into this human that is you. There is something that grows the trees and the grass. There is something that keeps the sun in perfect proximity to the earth so that you do not blow up. This earth is moving through the universe. You're not sitting still. There's some intelligence that is moving your planet through the solar system. There is some greater intelligence orchestrating things. When you come into a level of trust and knowing, the instant manifestation is pure, unconditional, unwavering love for the divine within you, the divine within everything. Trust, come into knowing, you will instantly come into a place of pure love. The next step, allowing. So many times people tell us, I don't know how to get into a state of allowing. You hear us say allowing and you say, I don't know how to get into a state of allowing. We'll make it very easy. The instant manifestation of allowing is joy. If you are in a state of joy, if you are feeling joy, if you are focused on joy, if you are doing what brings you joy, if you are feeling a sense of joyfulness, you are allowing. You can get into a state of allowing by doing what brings you joy, focusing on your joy. We ask many of you, what brings you joy? It's almost always the same. Nature, animals, children, grandchildren, loved ones, friends, beautiful music, candles, delicious food, flowers, nature, sunshine on your face, listening to the ocean, sitting next to a river or a creek. Allow yourself to do the things that bring you joy. And you will be open and allowing. The next step, and really as you move towards realization, is expansion. So many of you will say, I'm feeling expansion. I want to expand. I want to expand my life. I want to expand my awareness. I want to expand my consciousness. I want to expand my energy. The instant manifestation of receiving is expansion. And the only way you can fully realize expansion is through receiving. If you do not believe you're worthy and you haven't worked hard enough and you haven't done enough yet, and there's still something wrong with you because there's a pain in your back or a pain in your arm, you are in resistance, which is the opposite of expansion. You are not receiving, which is why you don't experience the well-being and the abundance and the love and the joy and the happiness and the freedom and the well-being and all the things that you want. Come into a place of fully receiving, believing you're worthy of it, letting it come to you. Allow yourself to go with your expansion. Your soul's desires, very different from a human want or need based in lack and limitation. True desire comes forth from the soul for the purpose of expansion. So many times people tell us, it's my soul's desire to do this, but I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources. And we simply say it's because you're holding yourself in resistance, not allowing your own expansion, not allowing yourself to receive. And they go, I don't know how, I've struggled and worked so hard for everything. That's it right there. It is the belief that it has to be difficult, that you've never ever received at the level you want, that keeps you from truly receiving all that is here for you. Does that make sense to you?
Thank you so much. Just a few last questions for you, then we'll have Sara come back here. Are there any words that you would want to share for Jessica, for our daughter Hannah Bear, or for myself?
We know that most all of you have heard what we're going to say. You can hear something, you can read something, you can intellectualize something. It's very different than experiencing it, feeling it in every cell of your body. Those words are, I am. I am. I am. That is the proof of your inherent worthiness. That is the proof of how loved you are. That is the proof of how powerful you are. That is the absolute knowing of the truth of you. I am. Not I should, not I'm supposed to, not I didn't do that well enough, not I need to figure this out. I am. When you truly experience the power of those words in every cell of your body, you will know that you are God, Creator, the divine. And from there, anything and everything is possible for you and your beloved daughter.
Thank you. Any last words or wisdom or guidance you wish to share with everyone today, Council?
You are everything you wish to be. You already are. Enjoy the becoming. Enjoy the unfolding. Live in the magic of the unknown. Have fun. Play. Create. Do the things that bring you joy. Live fully. Love fully. Be all that you are. That is the legacy that you leave in the consciousness of humanity every moment of every day. And yes, it matters. It matters. Truly.
Thank you so much, Council.
We have enjoyed this conversation with you all so very much. We are always with you. We are always available to you. You are us. We are you. You are the Council here on earth. We love you. We love you. We love you. And with that, we are complete. Thank you. Huh.
How are you feeling?
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. I could feel the intensity of their love and their message to you. So that was really powerful for me too.
Thank you so much. Just a few quick questions. We'll let you get going here. What has been the one most important thing, if you can think of anything, that the Council has been imparting upon you or sharing with you lately?
Oh, it's not denying love for yourself for any reason. And I'll give an example of this. Last week, I got sick. I got the flu or food poisoning or something. And they explained different levels of consciousness. And they talked about the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension. In the past, I would have instantly gone to, oh, what did I do wrong in order to create this thing that's happening that shouldn't be happening? I shouldn't be sick. I must have done something wrong. I have to fix something that's wrong with me, right? All of that we deny love for ourselves. In practicing and living and integrating their wisdom, my first thought was, oh, I wonder how this is happening for me. And the second I had that thought,
ooh, goody,
I knew my body was upgrading. I knew I was going through an upgrade. Mm-hmm. I knew my body was coming into a new level of balance with the new energy, the new consciousness, the new reality that I'm experiencing. And although it lasted about 4 days, I could find peace and acceptance in every moment. And even though I could witness what my body was going through, I felt such a deep level of love for myself, for my body. And it was not an experience that I would have said, oh, I want this to happen. But it's really interesting because of all the times for it to happen, it really was perfect timing. I didn't have to really cancel anything. I didn't have to really change anything. And I find that theme in my life, when something comes in that may not be what I expected, I also notice that it seems to be divinely orchestrated. And so really that practice of not denying love for yourself for any reason.
Thank you. Speaking of perfect timing, there's someone who's going to want to make a cameo in just a minute. As you said, perfect timing. She came right off, shall we say, stage left. Before we do that, where can people go, Sara, to find out more and to find your beautiful work?
Thank you, Michael. So saralandon.com, you'll find lots of free resources. There's actually a tab right at the top of the website that says free resources. I do a free daily quote. I send out 2 channeled messages every month from the council to everybody who's part of our free resources and subscribe to our email. I have a YouTube channel, Sara Landon Life. I have 2 best-selling books now. When I first came on, it was The Wisdom of the Council, which we talked about in our last interview. I now have a second best-selling book, which you can see behind me here, which is called The Dream, the Journey, Eternity, and God, which is co-created with New York Times bestselling author Mike Dooley, asking questions of the council. And it's just been an incredible experience to bring that book to the world. I have a master's class community. We meet live every Wednesday. I channel, people ask questions to the council. I talk about how we integrate this wisdom, and people ask me questions. So my master's class advanced community is really special to me. We also do courses and have many, many, many courses in our library on my website. I tell people just go and start wherever you feel called, whatever lights up for you. If it's a title of a course, whether it's an image, start there. And the path will continue to be, guided for you as far as the perfect information that you need in any moment. So this has been so fun. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the show again.
Thank you. I've got one last question. Before I do that, though, I think we have Hannah Bear, who may make an appearance here. Hannah, would you like to say hi to Sara? I think you're feeling books at the moment. Would you like us? Oh, you're bringing me a book. The Runaway Bunny. Would you like to say hi as we look at the Runaway Bunny?
Oh, there she is. Hello.
See Sara
she's
right
so
there?
beautiful. Hi.
She is half awake.
Oh. I can see.
We're half awake right now. Oh, let's get that pillow underneath her. Oh,
almost a smile there.
There we go.
Amazing.
2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4.
Well, that is what pure joy looks like right there.
So, thank you. And I guess she's hungry here. Oh, we just woke up, so we're going to have a little bit of a macadamia nut. How does it get any better than this? Last question that I have, Sara. What is the one most important thing? You felt called not to go to Maui. We're all being called for something at this time. What's the one most important thing we get to know or take action on or anything right now?
The council talked about your soul's desires. And this has shown up in my life in some really interesting ways that I could not have expected, of the deepest level of pure, as they said, unwavering love. If you follow that, you will always be aligned to the highest vision for your life, your highest potential. They said to someone yesterday in our master's class, go do the things that you love and that bring you joy, and go discover the things that you enjoy and that you love that you didn't even know you loved and enjoyed. And I thought that was pretty powerful.
I would say that's a mighty woohoo.
Yeah. Woohoo. Thank you so much, Michael. So great to be with you as always. My love to you and your community. And I just appreciate all that you do in the world. Thank you.
And you as well. So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler and Hannah Bear saying, be well, have fun, drink that milk, or do whatever it is that brings you great joy.
Yes.
And above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo!
Yes. Woo-hoo.
How does it get any better than this, right, Hannah Bear? Yay! Yay! Do you want to say bye to Sarah? Do you want to say bye? So we just had the most amazing show with Sara Landon and the Council. Beautiful words, powerful words, important words on really taking a deep dive on the inside and helping to shape our outer world. On that note, if you'd like to become a mystic, if you'd really like to learn how to take that deep dive and operate from the highest level, like Hannah Bear already knows how to do, or she's chewing her nut here, simply click on the link below and go to the School of Mystics. Of course, you can also learn how to channel. That's that next link below for our automatic writing course, where you can learn, just like Sara Landon does, how to communicate on the other side as well. Lastly, if you'd like a daily dose of goodness, an attunement, a vibrational shift for you, simply go to dailywoohoo.com, where through my automatic writing, I channel the angels and guides and give you a message to raise you up, help shift your vibration, and help you dance more like the Hannah Bear each and every day as well. Keep on shining bright. How does it get any better than this, Hannah Bear? How does it get any better? Oh, yeah. That's how it gets any better than this. Anything else you'd like to share?
Here.
Yeah? 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 Really? Yeah? Yep. Yeah. Yep. You're pretty awesome. Here's a link to the next amazing show. Love you guys so much. Bye.